Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel community. I am back and I plan to come out with a lot more Master Duel videos. Okay, so today we are talking about Labrynth. Now, if you don't know what Labrynth is kind of a push between a mid-range deck, so it's like control plus aggro. Um, the deck can swarm and gain a lot of advantage really fast. If you play Duel Links, you know about Tri-Mid. Tri-Mid is very simple in Duel Links. I think in Master Duel, uh, it's kind of like a more aggressive version of Sky Striker, if that makes sense, in some ways. Uh, so this deck can really stack up advantage. There are 4 types of cards in the deck based upon its core that I want to talk about. There is what you call the furniture. I call the sisters, which is Ariane and Ariana. I call your big boss monsters, which is your lady and your lovely. So your lady and your lovely. And then you have your traps, which is your big welcome labyrinth. You have your field spell, your labyrinth, and your welcome labyrinth. So we're going to talk about it. I'm going to break this up into different parts. The tech cards does not need to go. You don't not need to go over the tech cards too much in depth because a lot of them, if you've been playing Master Duel, you know Ash and Maxi. It's pretty self-explanatory at this point. But yeah, we'll go over this in different parts. So first, I want to go over Labyrinth's Story Torby and your Chandelier. These are both what you call your furniture. There's also Cuckoo Clock too. I wasn't playing Cuckoo Clock, but you can put that in there too. So Chandelier is basically, and Torby basically have the same first effect as, which is, you discard this and any other card in your hand to set a Labyrinth spell trap on your field. Now that is generally going to be your Welcome Labyrinth or your field spell. Now, the other thing you need to know about this card and what is known for most Labyrinth effects that you're going to come up is that if a monster on either side of the field is removed from the field by a normal trap card, you get to do a different effect. Now, for Chandelier, speaking of the furniture, Chandelier adds itself back from the graveyard to the hand. Story Torby, while it's in the graveyard, will summon itself back to the field. And this one and your Story Torby can only use each effect once per turn. So you can use both of these effects once per turn. And that's very important. You need to know clauses in order to play this game. Okay, so that's basically that. That is what your furniture does. Your furniture seems very minus at first, but it will plus you as you go along in the duel. And can be used for link fodder, for making links such as your Underworld, which we'll go over later on. Okay, next we want to go over our sisters, which is Ariane and Ariana. Ariana is the best one, is your best starter in the deck, other than your Welcome Labyrinth. On summon, she searches for any Labyrinth card in the deck. That could be your furniture. That could be anything but Ariana. She can't search herself. You can search Ariane, your big boss monsters, your lady, and your lovely, or any of your Labyrinth spell traps. Also, her other effect is if a monster is removed from the field by your normal trap card, you can draw a card, but you can only use one effect of Ariana once per turn. So if you draw, you can't search, and if you search, you can't draw. Basically, you're going to combo her alongside your big Welcome Labyrinth, which we'll talk about in a bit. Alright, so next, we are going to go over Ariana. Ariana is another level 4, which this can help out with your rank 4 plays. Once per turn, you can send one normal trap, not normal monster, normal trap, from your hand or set on your field to your graveyard. So if you reset your Welcome Labyrinth, you can indeed send that instead. Special summon one level 4 or lower fee monster from your deck in defense position except for Ariana. Ariane. So you can summon your Ariana, get a search. This is a starter, but it's a bit risky because you go minus and hard to lose to Ash and Ember or Valor, so that's a little bit dangerous. But it is a starter nonetheless, if it has to be. So we run about 2 of her, and along with 3 Ariana. Now, like Ariana, if a monster is removed from the field by your normal trap, you can draw a card. And again, like Ariana, you can Different from Ariana. It's a little bit different. Different from Ariana, this one you can use each effect once per turn. So if you summon, you can still search. I mean, if you summon, you can still draw. So that's very, very important there. Okay, now going over a few of the big boss monsters. This is part 3. Your big boss monsters are Lady and Lovely. Now, Lady just got released. She's a brand new ultra rare, and this card is very, very insane. While you control a set card, your opponent cannot target or destroy this by card effects. So, if you control a set card and they want to target you with something saying Guardian Chimera, they can't do that. If they want to target you with something like back row in the mirror, like Impulse or Insist, which also targets, they won't be able to do that either. Or cards that just destroy will not be able to be done either. Keep in mind things like Mirror Jade that don't target, or things like Kaleido Heart backing out this. So don't rely on that as a whole. As for full protection, but still nonetheless, it's good protection nonetheless. Now, what's also really good is you can use each of the following effects of Lady Labrynth once per turn. If a Labrynth card or effect or a normal trap was activated this turn, you can set one normal trap from your deck. That is crazy. This thing basically takes the place of Trap Trick, which used to be in the deck. You can use it to set your viruses from your deck. We'll go over them. You can set Imperm. You can set IDP, Ice Dragon Prison. You could set any of your Labrynth traps. Or evenly matched if you want to. If you feel like, hey, I'm going to survive if they clear my field, you can do that as well. Whatever fits your fancy. If there's any other normal traps you want to swap in, be my guest. But that is mainly what you are going to be setting from the deck. And if that wasn't good enough, and like I said, if that wasn't good enough, she also has a third effect, which is if a normal trap is activated, she can summon herself from your hand in defense. So, if you activate a Labrynth card or effect, or a normal trap, I should say. So, even if you activate your furniture in the graveyard, you activate Ariana in the draw, you activate Lovely to pop, which we're going to go over in a second, you can special her out of the hand, which is very good in the mirror match, which I'll show you replays. It can help you gain the advantage first. Next, we have Lovely Labrynth of the Silver Castle. Now, this card is also very good. There are 2 very good boss monsters in this deck. Your opponent can activate monster effects in response to trap cards you activate. So if they have like a Savage Dragon, or they have like a Dragite, or something that, or a Baron that wants to negate your traps, they're not going to be able to do that. Also, Lovely has 2 very, very powerful effects. First effect, if a monster on the field is removed by one of your normal traps, you can destroy non-target 1 card in the field or 1 card in hand. So you can hand rip your opponent, or you can pop a card in the field. This does not target. Second effect, you can target 1 normal trap card in your graveyard, set it on your field. Very, very broken, recovers your Labrynth spell traps. It also will recover your viruses, or whatever. This can really stack up. The advantage can really stack up, and you can just overwhelm your opponent, which you will see in the replays. Okay? So those are your 2 boss monsters. Again, very, very powerful, and we'll go over how you're going to use them to full advantage in a second. Next, as I said before, the final part of this deck is your Labrynth spell and traps. So, if you're going to master this deck, you got to know about the spells and traps. Now, first we have Big Welcome Labrynth. Now, this card is a 3-of. It just came out, brand new. This allows you to special summon a Labrynth from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So this can summon back from the grave. That's very important, because you can recycle your Lovely and your Lady. if they had been destroyed, or you had to discard them off your furniture or whatnot. Then return one monster you control to the hand. Then target one fiend monster you control. Okay. Yeah. Then target one fiend monster you control, or if you control level 8 or higher monster. One card your opponent controls, return it to the hand, and you can only use one big Labrynth effect once per turn, and only once that turn. So if you special summon, you can't use the second effect, but if you don't special summon, then you can banish this card from the graveyard to bounce their card in the field. So this is very good. This card is a starter, and it's an interruption on the following turn. So this card can interrupt your opponent on the following turn, and it can start for you. So this is removal, and it's a starter, which is excellent. Okay, now you're probably saying, bounce it to the hand. That sounds terrible. And the answer is it's not, because you're going to combo it with Lady Labrynth. So the way you generally want to do this is, let's say you have Ariana in the field. You're going to activate this. You're going to summon your lady. You're going to bounce back your lady. And then you're going to draw off Ariana. But then for the rest of the turn, you can summon out your Lady Labrynth. Because you're going to have the ability to do that after you draw off Ariana. Because remember, your Labrynth effects are going to trigger. Because monster that was on the field but is returned to the hand, or is removed from the field by your own normal trap effect. That includes your own. So the minute you bounce your Lady Labrynth, you're going to be able to activate all your effects, including your furniture that's in the grave. Now, another play you can do with this is you can summon out your lovely, bounce your Ariana, and then get Potman. And you'll gain more advantage with the field spell in the field, but let's go over Welcome first. Welcome Labrynth is another insane trap. So this allows you to special summon a Labrynth monster from your deck, also to the end of the next turn. So this is like a Scarlet Sanguine. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except for fiends, which is fine. You rarely go in the extra deck anyway. If your monster leaves the field by your normal trap effect, you can set this card. This is crazy. Think of a Scarlet Sanguine that keeps setting itself. That is absolutely insane. So basically, if you activate, let's say you have these two in tandem, right? You summon out, let's say you have Ariana in the field. You activate this, you summon out your Lady Labrynth, you bounce this back, and this is already in your graveyard. Let's say this is already in your grave, and you've activated this already. Then you can reset this. And this one says you can use each effect once per turn. So a common play, again, that you would do is you activate your Welcome. Let's say Ariana's in the field. You summon out your lovely. Then you activate your big Welcome Labrynth. And you summon out Lady. And then Lady on the field can bounce herself. Get back herself to your hand, which you can resummon. Then you will be able to trigger both Ariana. And you get popping with your lovely. And then you can also trigger Welcome Labrynth because it's in your graveyard. And set itself to the field for the following turn. And since Big Welcome is in the graveyard, if you have a level 8 fiend, you can bounce any card your opponent controls back to the hand. So that is very powerful ways to generate monster advantage in the deck. And the last Labrynth card we are playing is Labrynth. So this card is, if you activate a set Welcome Labrynth normal trap, you can add this card's additional effect to the resolution. This field spell really gets to be popping off once you really start getting that kind of advantage that you want. This really adds to it. So if you activate any of your Welcome Labrynth, that includes your Welcome Labrynth or your Big Welcome, you can activate Labrynth, which allows you to non-target pop a card in the field that does not target. So if you do not know what that means your opponent has to respond to the card's activation. If they choose not, then they blow up any of your cards without you knowing. Alright? If you activate a non-Labrynth normal trap, then you can special summon any level 8, any fiend monster from your graveyard. Any fiend. So, from your hand or grave. So, let's say you activate the barrier. You lock your opponent And I think D barrier is very good in this format. It's very strong because you are able to shut down decks like Tier Limit, Branded, because you call Fusion. So they are not able to Fusion summon. And it's very, very strong against Sprite because Call Exceed, they can't make Gigantic. So it does restrict some of their plays in that department. But mainly in the Fusion department. That's the one thing you want to be shutting down. You make this you activate this against Tier Limit, and you call Fusion, they're not going to be having a fun time because most of their plays are going to be turned off. They're not going to be able to make Kalos. They're not going to be able to, Fusion at all into Kaleido or anything that they want to do. All right, and this is also really good against Branded because obviously if you chain this against Branded Fusion and they can't go Lubellion and they can't start comboing off, then it's not fun for them. So, very, very strong card in the meta, I feel. And I think that you can even add multiple copies of this card if you wanted to, and it would be fine. Because of how impactful it can be on the metagame. Okay. Next, we have Evenly Matched. I mean, not evenly matched. Okay. Next, we have our tech cards. So we have Eradicator. This card, if you've been living under a rock, this card is insane. You activate this against Branded. You call spells. You can pretty much win the game on the spot, depending on what they have. If you activate this against Runic, you call spells. You pretty much win. Runic's not really popular right now, but it can win the games against them. If you go in the mirror and you call a trap, it will actually, you will win games against Runic, but if you go in the mirror, you call a trap, you win the game. You get rid of all their traps, and it's very sad for them. Alright? So, one Eradicator. You only play one. You would only play one anyway, even if it wasn't limited. Deck Devi is pretty cool, too. This card auto wins the duel against Sprite. If you go up against Sprite, you can grab this out of the deck. You activate this, and you are able to basically blow up every Sprite monster because they all have 1500 or less attack. So you can take out Blue, Jet, all their Swap engine, and they're not having a fun time. All their Meltby engine, and it can get pretty rough for them. Alright, keep in mind that they do have Angle in there, and they can trigger the Angler, but again, still not looking great for them. Alright, so that's that. Alright, and then we run 3 Evenly, 3 Infirm, 1 Ice Dragon Prison, because this card can disrupt things in the grave. Good way to get things off the field, disrupt the graveyard. 3 Extra, 1 Prosperity, 3 Ash, and 3 Maxi. Now, the extra deck is not fully optimized. I just started making this on the main and started farming for this deck. So I'm going to go with the extra deck as is. I want to add a few things in there, like maybe Insis and Deus Ex King Machina. Other than that, it's fine. We are running 3 Muckraker. This card is insanely good. Mainly because you use this to revive any of your fiends. So it's a link to. Basically, tribute 1. If a monster you control would be destroyed by card effect or by battle, you contribute a fiend instead. Also, you can discard 1 fiend, 1 card in hand, target a fiend in grave, special summon it. So this can revive any of your big boss monsters in the deck. Lovely or Lady, or any of your sisters or whatever you want to revive pretty much. Other than that, we're running Time Thief, Baguska, Zeus, Lingaribo, for whatever reason, just as an extra deck. Not really going to do anything with it. Sprite Spry could be good if you want to dump another furniture piece. Elf can revive them if you really want to. Like I said, the extra deck's not fully optimized. Underworld would come up. I would definitely keep this in the ear. Unicorn is very nice too. Piece of removal. And yeah, other than that, it sounds. Zeus is really good, obviously. For everything else, like I said, this deck doesn't rely on going into the extra deck, so don't stress over it. Get the main core first. You can still climb without even having the most optimal extra deck in the world. The extra deck plays don't come up a ton, but they're there if you need them. If you need them to be. So yeah. Other than that, got some replays for you guys, and enjoy the gameplay. Oops, not in the shop. All right. So give me 1 second. Let me get a few of these saved.
save us from this
And those are the replays. Now, I know you see a lot of them that are in gold, and that the reason why is I just started working on Master Duel now. I have been playing mostly Duel Links. I did play Stage 2, and I did reasonably well for not trying super hard in there. We won a ton of mirror matches with Tier Element. Now, this was before it got hit and such, but I have a really good idea of Tier Element. I'm going to have a full Tier Element guide. We're going to be climbing to Master with Tier Element and Labrynth. So we're probably going to be doing both because it's going to be a long driven climb, so we might do it with 2 different decks. So if you want to see that, make sure you follow me on twitch.tv/SeanMatry. We are going to be over there streaming probably early to mid next week on that. It's the Master Duel. So if you don't want to miss that content, please give me a follow. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We're closing in on YouTube partners, so I appreciate you if you can help out. Watch the video, like, comment, subscribe, turn that notification bell on so you know when I am posting content. If you guys love Duel Links, you like Duel Links, I do a ton of Duel Links content. I stream that on Twitch also, where I get King of Games with multiple different accounts. Currently, we're almost up to COG run number 5. We have done already 4. So if you want to see over there, I just missed going to Worlds. I was around 50K in the KC Cup for Duel Links. So yeah, I maxed out at 50K. Ended up falling to 40 with some bad luck, but we did really well. We were right around top 100 global throughout the majority, like I would say 90% of the KC Cup, really. But yeah, until next time, it's your boy Shomatry signing out. Peace. Bye, YouTube.